Good morning, everybody. This is Daniele Capezzone, a view from Italy, the Watcher Pulse from the UTOPIA Studios in Rome. So yesterday, with the kind of referendum online, also the five-star movement, the movement founded by the comedian Beppe Grillo, decided to support Mario Draghi's government. So the former governor of the ECB is going to enjoy a cross-party support. He will be backed up by the left-wing parties of the old majority, Liberi e Uguali, Democratic Party, Matteo Renzi's Italia Viva, and Five Stars. And on the other end, he will also be supported by two parties of the Italian center-right, Salvini's League and Berlusconi's Forza Italia. Mario Draghi is supposed to go up to the Quirinale today, or perhaps tomorrow, to meet President Mattarella and together with him to put down in black and white the list of the members of his cabinet. We will understand whether he's going to save some ministers of the old government or if, as so many Italians wish, he's going to turn over a new leaf completely. In any case, we will understand more of the profile, the mixed profile, political and technical, of his government. Of course, we will dwell on that next week. Well, this week, we are going to address a couple of topics the new government will have to cope with. On the one hand, the tax reform, and on the other hand, the EU thing, which lies just like a sword of Damocles on the heads of the Italian political leaders, taxes and Italy, a bad thing to cope with. In the second half of the 18th century, Adam Smith, the great Adam Smith, tried to investigate why the Dutch paid all their taxes in full and without any evasion. And he found out three major explanations. The first one was that the level of taxes was perceived as low and fair. The second one was that the relation between taxpayers and tax administration was excellent. And the third one was that the revenues from tax collection were spent in a wise way. Well, in Italy, unfortunately for us, no one of these conditions are met. The level of taxes is extremely high. The relation between taxpayers and tax administration is painful. The state, besides milking you, it also cheats you. And what is even more worrying, the revenues from tax collection are spent in a way which so many citizens are right not to perceive as a wise way, a lot of waste and perhaps a lot of corruption. So it won't be easy for Draghi to do the first thing, that is to say, to create, to build, to restore confidence between citizens and tax administration. Draghi is said to be willing to have a review of the existing fiscal laws. If we can, from here, give a small tip, give a small suggestion, it might be a good idea to revive, to bring back to life, a measure which was approved by the first government led by Giuseppe Conte at the time when there was an alliance between Five Star and Northern League. This measure was pushed by Salvini's League, and it was a 15% flat tax designed for small businesses and self-employed. It worked extremely well. Then, unfortunately, the following government disgracefully decided to wipe out this measure. It might be a good idea to revive it. Let's go to the EU thing. So many pundits and commentators and experts go on asking Mr. Draghi, how can you as a Europhile accept to be supported by the Eurosceptic Salvini? And the other way around, dear Mr. Salvini, how can you as a Eurosceptic decide to support the Europhile Draghi? From our independent perspective, it's up to us to give their answers. But as I was saying, from our independent perspective, the time has come to turn over a new leaf and to have an adult conversation about the EU in Italy. Why am I saying so? Because so many commentators in Italy are a bit bizarre. They are skeptic on any other topic, but when it comes to the EU, it becomes a matter of religion, a sort of dogma. They reject any objection in terms of anathema or superstition. You either worship at the altar of the EU orthodoxy, or you are regarded as a sort of monster. So let's try to turn over a new leaf and to forge an alliance around Mr. Draghi between sensible Eurosceptics and sensible Europhiles. If Mr. Draghi is, as he obviously is, respected at the European level, why shouldn't Italy make the most of his authoritative role to push for a renegotiation of the existing rules? Why shouldn't Italy push for a review of the existing treaties? It might be a wise thing to do. Why shouldn't Draghi's government push to have a multi-tiered union in which any state can participate in or abstain from programs that suit or don't suit them? It might be a good thing to do so. Why shouldn't Italy push to have a sort of sovereignty bill, a sort of red card system, allowing Italy to reject something that comes from Brussels, as our German friends do through their constitutional court? We might do that through our parliament, so that European rules are paramount unless they are overturned or rejected by national institutions. It might be a wise thing to do. But the most important thing, the wisest one, and also this is the nearest challenge for sensible Europhiles and sensible Eurosceptic, is to work together with Draghi, we wish so, to delay, to hold over, to leave over the reintroduction of the disgraceful parameters of the Stability Pact, which have been rightly suspended at the beginning of the coronavirus crisis. Now, we have the risk that someone may want to reintroduce them as they are and as rigid as they are. From our perspective, the first thing to do would be to fight, to delay that, and also to design, once again, to reform that principles in a more flexible way. We wish that Europhiles and Eurosceptic could work together on that in the best interest of Italy, not to have this sword of Damocles once again. So that's all for today. See you next Friday, 9:30, here, A View from Italy, from the UTOPIA Studio, from the Watcher Post.